Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is me, Dukect, and I'm back once again watching not just, you know, watching the World Series Nationals against the Houston Astros and me sweating all over it. It's 2 outs and bottom of the fifth. Tied 2-2, and I'm watching on the Amazon Fire since and such, so I might be late. So I'm just sweating as bullets here. I mean, last ones, I just had, all I wanted was a split, but yeah, but you know what? I'm sitting here live here on the Dukect Lounge, and I am just, again, I am a little bit nervous, man. A little nervous, But you know what? The show must go on. But who is not, how would you say, nervous or anything else, but, has a confident swagger about themselves? Bethesda. And so we'll say they earn that swagger because, hey, they're a top flight game developer, publisher. So many great classic games. So many classic games. So many classic games, so many great, Fallouts, Elder Scrolls, and the list goes on and on. But recently, it's not been, it hasn't been a good time for Bethesda. Hasn't been a good time for the Bethesda, as with all the stuff that's happening with them. Personally, it started with Prey, when they basically used copyright stuff to stop an indie developer from that great game of Prey into Prey of the Gods, because their names sound different. And that didn't help the game basically being, forgotten. It's like, instead of using the money to sue or threaten other developers, maybe you, market the game. That would actually help. Just saying. And then you have, Fallout, the Fallout series, Fallout 4. Some people say it was a massive disappointment. And, some would say that. I mean, I haven't played the game, but people have been up, down, all around, and just said this was pretty much a very, mediocre game. But it is interesting how it just seems to come apart. And then you have Fallout 76, from the lawsuits to the gameplay to just everything looks, all these other things connected to that game. And it's hilarious how this thing has completely and totally just collapsed on itself. It's downright comical. It's a comedy of errors. But here, ladies and gentlemen, I wasn't going to add this. I was going to talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling and AEW. I was going to talk about those. And we'll talk about it later tonight. But here, right now, this right in here is just amazing for Fallout 76. According, this is from one of many articles from Kotaku, says, quote, Bethesda is now selling $100 annual subscriptions for Fallout 76 features. That's right. They're turning Fallout 76 into an MMO right now. They're turning it into the MMO. And it's hilarious because that not only the online, it was supposed to be it's an online multiplayer game which computer code characters which will be delayed until next year, and now publishers are saying they're selling premium subscriptions that will provide players with access to cost of $13 a month or $100 a year. $100 a year. And it's going to have, quote, private worlds where you and up to 7 friends can play by yourself and something like that. You got the scrap box, unlimited storage for components, new strike box container, That's not going to be abused. No, not at all. Survival tent, a fast travel point with a stash, sleeping bag, and more of your basic needs. Over 1,650 items per month used at the item shop. They're pay for win stuff. We have a nice little shop in the game. Ranger armor outfit, an iconic Fallout outfit exclusive for members, and icons and emotes pack using icons and emotes available to members. Let's see. There we are. Okay, that's just got the third out. So again, I'm gonna be going back and forth, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, it's one of these that sort of thing. I did it before with many a Caps game. Heck, sometimes even a Caps playoff game when they actually I said the Caps never close and such like that sort of thing. Well, a couple years ago, but they did eventually close. So yeah. But wow. Bethesda, bro, come on now. Why are you doing this? I know why you're doing this. I understand why. I mean, think about it. You have, you want to extend the life of the game, but to me, wouldn't this be, I don't know, should have been talked about in the beginnings of the game, saying you want to make this an MMO and all these other type of this type of stuff. I would think that the lack of players who have already left, by the way, and some are pissed off by this, and I can see why. It seems like a screaming attempt to make this game seem relevant, and quite honestly, what this game needs to do to actually be, Bethesda needs to do to this game is what Square Enix need to do with Final Fantasy XIV. They need to basically start fresh, just destroy it and start fresh again. Because literally, I don't know what you can do to basically salvage this game. And this seems like it's just trying to be a patchwork and teach patching and patching till eventually everything gets done, until actually saying, hey, we need to make a good game. What happened here in gaming that it's become such a chore to actually finish a game product? Even stuff I like nowadays, even Nintendo stuff has the season pass, and I'm playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Check out the live stream of that, which will be on, I believe, tomorrow, and such. Well, I will try to get that back up. I just, can someone tell me, look me in the eye, and tell me why does these games that don't who barely have any franchise, heck, not only a franchise, but what happened to game? Why do games need season passes? What happened to the game just being done and the rest you just add in for a sequel? What happened to that? What happened to just saying, if this game's successful, if its game is done, it's done. We don't need to do any type of, if the bugs are there, we have to fix out the bugs. Instead of say, we'll release a half-ass product, and then later on do this. When did that start to go in this game industry? What stuff is it? It boggles my mind how you have the game industry for the longest time had these completed games, and it seems like around the sixth, late fifth to sixth generation, it just like became the patch parade. Heck, the patches started on the PC, and then when the consoles got closer up to it, or being distinguishable to it, it's like, well, we'll just start the whole thing here, and that is what happened. It becomes a patch. Everything is a patch. Patch this, patch that, patch, 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 patch. We need to patch these games. We got to keep patching. We got to do the patch. We have to do this patch and everything else. You know what? That's the sad. It's just so complete and total BS. It's like, when are these games done? And I can't stand it. And that's why I don't play as much games as I used to. I don't go out to get the new games. I mean, why do people want to go out and get the new game? Give me a reason why you want to go out and get the new games when you just say, you know what? The best way, and that's an out. The Nats are up, and it's top of the 6-0, 1 out. Ugh. But anyway, it gets to my point of these games and these games developers and everything else they don't really care about having completed products. Like the Outer Worlds is coming out at least in a couple days, and they're like, they have a complete game. They might say we might do DLC later on. And I'm like, remember this? There's just no exclusive. They actually are saying the game is completed right there. We might do something extra later on, but rest of it will be started maybe in a sequel. And that's right there. I'm like, do you remember when games used to do that? When a game actually comes out, there's no bells and whistles. It's like, here it is. There's no extra monitor. It's not like Ubisoft where there's like, you have to have pretty much a grid. Like EA Anthem, you have anthems of, you have a grid, or we look at Watch Dogs, which was, oh my goodness, look at that. We see the video of the Watch Dogs thing, which was just amazing. You don't get the full complete game. You get the full complete game, ladies and gentlemen, and you might get some stuff down the road, which is nice. It used to be. How far is it that we have to look back and say, the 6th generation, that's what it used to be. That used to be the good times. I want things to go back in. I want a completed game. The only time you do anything is maybe update, maybe a patch or two. That's it. Other than that, I'm just done with this. And I feel like I made this argument over and over again. And people wonder why. And Bethesda, would get back to the point, when you look at the stuff and the player base is Fallout 76, is wonder why it's so low, and they're probably gonna go low, continue being low. And if they wanted to make an MMO, if you want to make an MMO, why didn't you do this in the first place? Why did you have to do all this stuff with the duffel stuff, the terrible beer, the Nuka Cola and such? Why did you have, doing all these, taking all these fires and the gameplay, the graphics, all of it? Why didn't you just say, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't do all this stuff. Maybe we need to pull this back. Maybe, just maybe, we might have gone a little too far. Maybe we should just, peel this back a bit. Maybe say, you know what, we really messed this up, and we need to go back and just start, start fresh again. That's the plan, and that should be the plan. But that's just my personal opinion about this whole situation. Is that Bethesda should have done this in the beginning, and now you have to wait until all this. They have to wait till the game completed. Maybe, just maybe, if the game was completed, if the game was actually 100% done, you wouldn't have these type of situations. You wouldn't have these type of stuff. So yeah, they could have done this. And yeah, it is just, I wish they could have done something, better. Because there's a lot of stuff you could do with an MMO version of Fallout. There's untapped potential, and they screwed it up. And they continue to have this negative press. And until they actually do something, until they need to have internal changes, they had to look and say they need a front-on apology. Maybe they need to take the stuff down and do what Square Enix did. Take it down, just say, you know what, we're going to make this an MMO, but also we're going to just swipe the slate clean and make this into something beautiful again. Really work hard on it. That's what they should do. Personally, I just wish they could have made a completed product in the first place. A decent product. instead of just trying to run up and patch, and and by the time it's actually a completed game, maybe, hey, No Man's Sky is great, but I'm like, really, it took you like 2 or 3 years. It took you this long to actually make a decent game, man. If it took you this long, why the heck did you release it? Why did you release it? Why did you release the game when it was not done? That's the problem with these developers and these game publishers. They just think, oh, we'll just sit there and do like, we'll just go and just send it out there, and that'll be it, and we'll just patch everything. Maybe wait until the game is done. That's why, honestly, I don't buy new games. No, I don't buy 100% new games. I wait until I wait until there's a Steam sale or there's like something like that knocks the price down real quick, and then you get it. That's what I always do. That's just my way. And quite honestly, I haven't been let down doing that ever. I have never been let down doing that. But that's just my thing. I want to hear your thoughts, though, in the comments and everything else down below. Bethesda, man. They just don't get it. And I don't think they're ever going to get it. Kind of like the Nats not getting any runs, but, it's going to be a long while. That's it for this part of the podcast. We'll be right back right at this. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get into New Japan Pro Wrestling and also what AEW is doing right and what AEW is doing wrong. We'll be right back right after this here live on the Dukect Lounge, live on TalkShoe.com.